Hi, my name is Mary Spender, and you are watching
Tuesday Talks.
And this is Tom Quayle.
Tuesday Talks.
Most of you might recognise Tom from his teaching courses online, and that's how you make most of your income, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've been doing it for ages actually, and I guess it first started in about 2012. I was working for Yamaha.
Wow.
And I was teaching at their music schools. And I was teaching about 120 kids a week, which was pretty insane. It was good fun. And it was a very steady job, but a friend of mine, Rick Graham, who's an amazing guitar player, go and watch Rick Graham, but only after you've watched all of Mary's videos. Go and watch Rick's videos. We were hanging out a lot in the early days of YouTube. I say early days, probably 2011, 2010, so relatively early. And we thought we would put on a masterclass session for 3 days in the town I was living in, Saltaire, which is a beautiful place. So we thought, we've got both things. We've got me and Rick, and we've got this amazing World Heritage site. People will love it. And we put an advert out on Facebook saying we're going to do this, and we got a crazy response. We charged almost nothing for it, so that's probably why. It's probably nothing to do with it, it's just cheap. We got guys coming over from New York, Portugal, all over the place. It was insane, and we just had no idea there was this market for it. But as a consequence of that, we wrote a load of material, tons of tuition material, probably too much. And after we'd finished, it was sat around doing nothing. So basically, I'd earned money for that period of time I'd worked, and then I couldn't earn any money from it again. So I decided I was going to upload it to a website and sell it and create this passive income. And I remember the moment I pressed go and it started selling, I was like, this feels really weird. It's selling and I'm not doing anything.
Wow.
The idea is to get a passive income, but once you've got it, it
isn't
feels very, very weird and wrong.
Yeah.
But of course, you've worked really hard up to those years doing all of the stuff that you've done in the practice that you didn't necessarily get financially rewarded for. So
well, absolutely,
in the
especially
end,
the hours you must have put in when you were younger to
Yeah.
play like that.
Well, so you need to have some financial remuneration of some sort, although it's the dirty word among artists, but for what you do, you need to, because that's how
I think it's
live.
getting less dirty.
It is, which is
I think people
really
are
a good
realising.
thing.
Yeah. But it's definitely something for my viewers. A lot of them are guitarists, and they're trying to figure out ways to earn money from music.
Yeah.
And you're still making music every day. And how often do you film videos for?
Well, it depends what I'm doing. So I do a lot of freelance work for various people. So I do freelance work for various shops where I'll just turn up on the day with my video gear, and they'll say, right, let's shoot this product, this pedal, this amp, whatever.
Wow.
And then I charge a fee depending on how many videos I've done. I don't edit those videos. We were talking about this earlier. Try and avoid editing videos if you can, because the process is laborious, but you have to at first. So if you can get someone to edit videos for you. I do a lot of stuff for Guitar Interactive magazine and Lick Library, and I have a studio at home and shoot all my own stuff. So I'm doing a lot. Video work is primarily what I do now, but it's not so much for YouTube, whereas you are very much doing the YouTube thing, and I really need to concentrate on it more. Mary's a good exact role model for me in that respect, because I stopped doing it in any kind of serious way. So looking at you guys coming up and kind of being the role models now for younger people as well who are wanting to get into this. Most of my video work is for other people, so it gets featured on other YouTube channels or in magazines or whatever. So, but still, it's a good income stream, and you develop a good skill base, and you've got to buy all the gear and stuff and all that business, so you can then start to work. Like you've done stuff for other companies as well, haven't you?
I have, and it's getting more and more.
Yeah. So that's a great way to
exciting.
kind of earn money as well.
Absolutely.
And actually get your music out there, because you get to do your thing with the product. People get to hear you play. So it's not just this selling out kind of thing. Now I want you to demonstrate this famous guitar and you have to play what we tell you to play. You can still be you, but you get to...
Yeah, and that's what people want to watch as well. They want to see you be you and do what you do for yourself, but for other people.
It's disingenuous, so it's got to be you, but you get to a wider audience from doing that. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. Yeah.
Do you think there's been a change when it comes to associating with brands and how that sort of dirty money initially has just...
I think it's been normalised because everybody's doing it. It's become...
Everyone has to do it, don't they? The music industry's changed so much.
And I think the companies have realised it as well, that it's a legitimate income stream, and it's a good way of them having their products marketed to thousands of people.
Yeah.
Not for free, but certainly for much less than the average advertising budget would be in a print magazine that they're not going to get many views with. So...
Well, they're not going to be able to gauge
That's
how
the other
many
thing.
exact people actually... Because people buy buy the magazine, but they won't necessarily see that advert and then act upon it.
Whereas you can go to a company and you can say, well, I get this many likes or clicks or whatever on my videos. It's a very attractive, very kind of precise way of gauging how much interaction they're getting, which is really, really cool. So it's very much legitimized it. When I first started doing it, I think you have to be very careful about, like, can I say this on the Mary Spender channel? Like whoring yourself around to different companies? I don't know. You've got to be a little bit careful, or you did have to be a little bit careful as to, in that line of work, not being over-representative of lots of different conflicting brands. Whereas now, I think the way around was, I used to have to approach companies, whereas now, people in your position, you are being approached by companies because they see the potential of this.
Yeah.
So you can then make the choices as to who you work with and who you don't work with, which is, you're in the position of power in a way, which is nice. It's good.
It's very nice to be asked to do things.
Absolutely.
And it's also quite sometimes nice to be like, no, this isn't actually right now. It might be right in future. You know, that sort of conversation. It's a big change as well when people do start coming to you.
Yeah.
It's really, really lovely. So the one thing I'm fascinated, well, there are many things that I'm fascinated about in terms of your playing. Can you explain the fourths, the tuning?
Yep. I wonder how many times I've explained this in my life.
I know, but I'm just...
It's a totally good question, but yeah, I guess it's an obvious kind of thing for me to talk about. So it's really simple. So the lowest four strings are the same as yours, so I have an E, an A, a D and a G, and then the top two strings are tuned upper semitone, or in guitar speak, upper fret. So I've got a C and an F. And the really simple reason for that is that anything that I play, like if you play this chord, which would look a little different in standard tuning, this is a C major 9, if you played it on the top four strings, it would then change to, what would you have? You'd have, I don't know what you'd have, some weird other shape, basically. So I guess it would be this. Whereas in my tuning, the shape stays the same wherever I play it.
Ah.
So I am effectively cheating on guitar. I've made guitar simpler.
You have?
Which is great, because when you're improvising a lot, like if I'm playing repertoire things, like this is the one I always do. So if I go... it just falls apart completely, it doesn't work. But if I'm improvising and I'm playing chordal parts, or if I'm playing kind of lead lines, this symmetry on the fretboard now is really beneficial for playing over complex or not so complex stuff, because you don't have that kink in the tuning that changes the shapes that you play all over the place.
Would you recommend it for a certain... You wouldn't recommend it at all?
I have to let you finish your question, sorry, go on.
Is there a certain player that you would recommend it for? Like
so if you are very into improvisation and having your own sound, so you're not bothered about being as employable as possible, or playing in a top 40 covers band, or function bands or whatever, all you want to do is become the person that you want to be on the instrument and damn everything else, who cares, then this is a good tuning for you. But for everyone else, don't touch it with a barge pole, because it makes you eminently unemployable. And actually the biggest problem is, one of the ways that we talked about before, guitar players can earn some money is by teaching.
Yeah.
And I have a nightmare when I teach in this tuning.
Right.
Like I did a big Steely Dan DVD set for Lick Library and taught, I think, 8 Steely Dan tunes, and I had to learn them all in standard tuning and then teach them in standard tuning. And every time I was going, so you're going to put your first finger here on the note D, this is not a D for me. So my brain is screaming, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But in actual fact, it's correct in standard tuning. So it's a nightmare.
Right.
So don't do it. Bad idea.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day at GitCon, because we are in the Framus and Warwick factory.
It's very cool, actually.
It's very cool, including this light up sign.
Yeah, well found.
But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.